since we're talking about art, might as well give a little gratitude to somebody, honestly. Which we'll give a little gratitude to Officia. Did I say that name right? Probably not. But when it comes down to things, they drew blue, and honestly, this is just really nice, right? Like, this just show you how thick she is, honestly. I mean, it just completely showing you the trueness of blue, how thick she is, and how weird sometimes she can be, just doing random shit just because. Also, I like how you put the JSX4 on her panties, which is also very nice. Love the detail. Thank you so much. So when it comes down to things, we gotta talk about art. More specifically, aging up characters. I don't think we ever really talked about that. So when it comes down to things, obviously, it's annoying as shit when artists do this. It's really bad sometimes, right? And I won't say it's bad like all the time, because sometimes people genuinely just want to draw up an aged up version of the character or use them in a different way than what they currently are and stuff like that. And you know, sometimes it's fine, right? It's fine for what it is, especially if you're just doing it just because you want to be artistic about it and just be, I guess, curious about how it will look, honestly, in your vision. And that's perfectly fine. The problem with it, honestly, is a lot of times people do it out of spite, or people just straight up do it just so they can, you know, have it to be okay with a character they want to loot and stuff. And that's where I have a problem with it. Because you be like, oh, I'm gonna age up a character, it already brings up like a few things in my brain. Number one, that just shows me that you already had some ideas of what you want this character to do for you, even in, you know, the form that they canonically have, right? Or in the form that they already have in, you know? And the fact that you want to age up the character just so you can do loot stuff to them, meaning that, you know, you already have some type of feeling to them. So come on now, like, just draw them as they are and then be done with it, honestly. Like, you don't have to necessarily age up a character, or even go as far as to say the character is 18, because you gotta remember, it's fiction at the end of the day. Don't nobody give a damn, or at least shouldn't give a damn, because aunties will give you every single reason to think they do, but they don't. Honestly, their opinion is just as valid as literally a salad toss chucked into the ocean. Their opinions is not valid in the slightest, honestly. So anytime I see people just be like, let me age up a character, I just be thinking, this is a bad move, and you should be pretty pissed off about it. Mainly because if you are literally taking your art and you are just trying to appease the aunties by aging up characters, they'll find a new reason to hate you. In fact, they might just find the same reason to hate you. I might think the character being 18 is a little too young. That way, we must go ahead and call you out of your name or something like that. Try to take your account away, or delete a lot of your art off the internet and stuff like that, and just get a bandwagon to go harass you, right? Aunties don't care. I don't understand why people still try to, you know, do age up of content when it comes to, you know, lolly characters and stuff like that, or, you know, characters that's underage. Because just like in anime, majority of the characters is literally underage. Yes, you do have adult characters, but I guarantee you, and I shit you not, there's probably way more underage characters that has way more importance than any adult character in these shows. And I ain't just talking about, you know, characters that's actually having a name and, you know, actually have plot convenience and stuff like that, but also like background characters too. You probably will see a lot more underage characters being in those positions and being in different anime and have the majority of horsepower of anything than really, you know, the adults in these shows, or just the adults in these shows in general, honestly. If you like the character and you have absolutely no problem with the lolly version of the character and whatever, then just draw the character as they is. Because, and especially with a lot of people, which I can understand people doing this, but at the same time, there's also a part of this discussion where I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily read this all the way, but it can be seen at this way. But a lot of people like to draw, you know, lolly characters, but with certain angles, and or having certain types of, you know, body inflation to it. Not like the crazy ass inflation that we have talked about a long time ago, but like maybe, oh, it's Sarda, but she has a bigger ass, or maybe she has just a slight bit bigger tits or something like that. And that's what they often do, right? And sometimes, and don't get me wrong, it's hot, don't get me wrong, it is, but at the very same time, it's also like, are you doing this because you think it's hot, or are you doing it because you don't want people to be thinking, oh, well, I'm not a lolicon, look, she has a fat ass? what are we actually aiming for here, right? And that's like another thing that kind of throws me out of the loop of things. You know, it just makes me wonder, like, how much shit are y'all willing to do to make yourselves not look like a lolicon? Because at the end of the day, it still low-key kind of is. I'm not gonna necessarily lie. Another reason why I don't necessarily like aging up characters is for the simple fact that also you're just basically making everybody the same. What, should every single woman on the planet be a big boob lady? Not everybody has that feature, honestly. Not everybody has that. There is some flat-chested women that's just out there. There's some short women that's out there. There's some tall women. You gotta have variety in art, something that the West clearly lacks when it comes to using models in games and stuff. Don't get me wrong, the animations of how they work these models is really damn good. However, it looks horrendous as shit. So a lot of those models do be looking ugly as hell, and it makes no type of sense. And when it comes down to things, it's just like, well, I don't necessarily want to see an ugly ass character on my screen all the damn time. I would like to see some different variety in what we can have, but majority of the shit that you will see will be ugly ass looking characters. Let's just be honest with you, right? Realistically ugly ass characters. And that's why I'm so happy that, you know, there is characters with 3D models that look vastly different than something that the West would make. Like Raincoat, and how they have literally every single model looks super stylized and sharp and, you know, really fun looking, honestly, and really colorful. Then you also have things like Genshin, which, you know, have a softer tone to it, but also, you know, it's still a nice looking model at the same time, you know? And it just, I like having models that's just very different in variety, and that's what you really need, honestly, right? Not everybody should be the damn same. Even when it comes to, you know, the drawing style of an artist shouldn't necessarily be the same. Even if it's something that you don't necessarily like, right? It might not be anything that you might necessarily like. You might be nitpicky about it, you know, but at the same time, I welcome it, because at the very end of the day, at least it's there and you have the option of seeing what it will look like. For instance, Antisocial Boy has done 3 good works when it comes to the Gensai material of me clapping a random anime girl. He's done a very good job, honestly. My favorite one is still going to be Koneko to this day, even though it is vastly different from what Koneko actually looks like, or what she would look like to someone else's, you know, drawing style. You know what? It's a more Western take. She's a more adult-looking version of Koneko. But you know what? At the same time, I still welcome it, mainly because it's different. I haven't never seen a Western-looking Koneko before until I seen this picture. And you know what? It's still freaking hot. I'll just go ahead and say that. So definitely when it comes down to things, I'm glad that there's people like Antisocial Boy that's out there. Or people that, you know, is doing other type of art styles for different characters that's out there, because, you know, you need that variety. If everybody was literally the damn same, then it will be very boring very freaking quick. You know, in this full picture of Koneko, she's basically having big boobs and basically look like an actual adult. But I know there's some other pictures that's out there where, you know, Koneko is not looking like that, and she, you know, looks flat as hell and lolicon as shit, and that's perfectly fine, right? And that's kind of like the thing, right? And there's some artists, even as big artists that's out there, be having, you know, making lolicon content, but they don't necessarily show it off on their main accounts and stuff like that, because they know what type of trouble that will bring up and cause and stuff like that. And it doesn't necessarily make any kind of sense, right? So when it comes down to things, you know, it's a shame that they have to go out their way to find a whole new social media site just to post their adult content of the lolly characters, just because the main set of people would probably be disapproving of this shit, even though at the end of the day it is a damn character. Plus, you gotta realize age does not matter in anime. Like, a lot of lolly characters be 500 to 10 to 1 million years old and shit, and it does not necessarily matter. You just take a number essentially and then you just chuck it to a character. That's what you're doing. It's the same thing what everybody else is doing when they're drawing lolly characters. Oh, I want to draw Kana with just all the cum going out of her mouth and shit, but oh, I can't do that because she looks very young. However, I'll say she's 18 and she looks the damn same. There you go, problem fixed. You're doing the exact same shit that anime has done for years. Why is it in anime it's a damn problem, but when it comes to like art and stuff like that, it's not necessarily that deep of a problem or something like that, you know? It just, all across the board, aging up a character has this weird traits into it. Again, if you want to do it for fun and you want to see what a character will look like, go ahead, fine. But if you try to do it in a way where it's like, you know, you're doing it out of spite or something of the sort, it's just like, why are we doing this? Why? It doesn't make any kind of sense. It's just another reason why Lolly is one of the damn variety packs that you just need out there. And if you're just out there appeasing some aunties, or you just don't necessarily want to do it because you don't like lolicons, or you don't like, you know, material like that, and you're just aging out the characters, it just, all that shit does is just hurt everybody overall, because you're saying basically it's okay to limit what a person can draw and what they can enjoy, which is some nonsense. People should be able to draw whatever the hell they want to, and to be honest, it's still gonna hurt you in the long run, because guess what? Auntie will come through, say something nonsensical, and then try to harass your ass like they do many different artists that's across the board. So when it comes down to things, that's essentially all I have for you today for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow me on the socials, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Patreon is available as well. And until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.